Hello and welcome back to Exothermic Plays Games. I'm Exothermic and the date today is Wednesday, April 17th, 2024. That means it's the 108th day of ranking my favorite video games through each day of the year. Coming in at number 259 is NBA Live 2004.
This game. Oh, what a block! Ben Wallace showing us what he does best.
This entry sort of encapsulates not only this game, but the annual releases surrounding it, which is when I was most into basketball as a kid and still had dreams of playing in the NBA someday. Obviously, that didn't work out. As additional background, I've always been a Detroit Pistons fan, and though it's been rough for the last 15 years or so, back in '04 they had the best five alive. Rosters by default in the game are based on the start of the season, so Sheed wasn't there yet. Thankfully, you can go into roster management and propose trades to swap players around the league, even outside of season mode. First thing I did was go in there and offload some people for the key to unlock the championship team. Since they had to nail down the rosters during the offseason after the draft, rookies were more or less given stat scores based on the order they were drafted. Darko Milicic is rated better overall than Dwayne Wade. This is to remind you that this game is fantasy. As for other more realistic immersion elements, the graphics are a bit wonky, but most of the star players all look great. Look at Rasheed Wallace, for example. They even got all of his tattoos right. Some are laughably bad, though. Throughout the rest of this video, I want you to keep an eye out for Tayshaun Prince. You can make your own players as free agents as well, and I certainly did that growing up, but I'm more interested in playing with the actual teams now than having a self-insert. For game modes, you can do a quick play or go into a couple different long play modes. You can play a full season, including playoffs, with the rosters as you currently have them, or you can play Dynasty mode, which takes place over the course of several seasons with much finer control over the development of your team, including a full draft of the existing player pool and annual rookie drafts in the future. But let's be honest, I'm now playing this game for the nostalgia of the 03-04 season, so we'll just stick with that. Select which team you want to play as, and kick off the season. You're playing as the general manager and coach, and can sign free agents, propose trades, and determine starting lineups. The whole season schedule is laid out in front of you, mirroring the actual schedule for the season. You can actually play through each game, or just press the simulate button if you wanted to run through the season, or sections of it. But we're here to play games on this channel. Start the game up and go into the settings. There's lots of ways to customize the difficulty of the game. In addition to setting a regular difficulty mode, there's a plethora of sliders to adjust how punishing some parts of the simulation are. In hindsight, I probably should have upped the free throw difficulty, because there's no way Big Ben was making back-to-back free throws. Also, make sure to check the quarter lengths. I kept it to 5-minute quarters to be able to record multiple games a bit easier for the purpose of this video, but normally I would prefer to do the full 12 minutes. You control one player at a time, and if you're playing solo, when your team's on offense, it's always the player with the ball. I played this game on GameCube, so I'll be talking about controls for that platform. There are others though. There's a lot of quick action buttons, but if you hold one of the shoulders, you get finer control about where to pass and things of that nature. Using the directional pad, you can run preset plays such as setting pick and rolls or calling for a post play. If you move the C stick, you can try and get fancy on your opponent, but be careful not to lose control of the ball. While playing solid fundamental basketball is both fun and rewarding, it's really fun to just lob the ball up for alley-oops. Don't get me wrong, the dunking in this game certainly is an NBA jam, but everything else is a massive improvement. On defense, the directional pad changes defensive paradigms, like going from man-to-man to zone or calling for a double team, while pressing the A button will swap control to the next closest player to the ball, and you can press buttons to try to steal, jump for blocks or rebounds, take a charge, or commit an intentional foul. That's right, you too can experience the unadulterated joy of Hack-a-Shack. I'm really bad at drawing fouls on offense, and I'm also really bad at timing charges on defense, so my opponents tend to get a lot more points from free throws than I do, but I make up for it elsewhere, especially when playing my Pistons. Lockdown defense from the greatest defender of all time, Ben Wallace, is truly something to behold. NBA Live 2004 holds a very special place in my heart as a Pistons fan. I remember playing on the easiest difficulty setting, scoring 200 points per game, with my favorite player of all time, Chauncey Billups, as a kid, just draining full court threes. I want more of a challenge nowadays, but it's still great to relive that 03-04 championship season with my Pistons. Not to derail this channel with a hot take, but I do truly believe that team, with its elite defense, focus on selfless teamwork, and just outworking the other team while having great depth off the bench, could be any team ever in the history of the NBA. Also, I think Tayshaun Prince is one of the most underrated defenders of all time, possibly being the best perimeter defender in the league at this time. With the amount of threes that go up in today's game, if he played now, he would be a lot more known. Join me tomorrow as I talk about the 258th game on my list, where I can't believe there's an achievement to finish without dying.